What's going on, everybody? Dream Builder here today to talk to you guys about, or not really talk to you, tell you a story about how I ended up getting into fitness and beginning my fitness journey. So, to begin, it's not what you're thinking. It wasn't to get really good looking or get the girls, even though that kind of came later down the road, as I'm sure it has for many of you, or that's the plan. That's your initial motivation. My motivation was actually more so on the fear side of things. It wasn't the carrot, because I grew up, or where before I began this fitness journey, I wasn't living in or going to school in the best areas in the world. It had, pretty good crime rate. I was a minority. It would just sound weird because I'm a white guy, but I was the minority in that area. Just a skinny little white kid. I was very naive, very innocent. I was easy target to pick on, and I didn't like it. And I really didn't know what to do with it, do about it for about a year of beginning middle school, and then seventh grade came around, and we were doing strength testing in PE class, and like the good old like push-ups, the pacer. Oh God, I fucking hate the pacer. It was a terrible test, and pull-up test, right? And I think there's like sit-ups and other crap in there. I don't know, but the pull-ups was where it really began. And prior to this moment or time, I was only probably able to do 3 pull-ups max. And around this time, I was going through puberty and stuff like that. And I was super nervous for the test because the whole class was watching, because we all went like one at a time, and everyone's like judging and looking. And there was a girl I liked in that class. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm only going to be able to do 3 pull-ups. She's going to think I'm such a wimp. Oh my gosh. I somehow knocked out 9 pull-ups. And I'm just like,
I have no idea where that came from. No idea.
So as I'm walking down, this guy gave depth. Dude, that was awesome. And I'm like, I know, I don't know where it came from. Like that was epic. And the next day I woke up, I was sore as hell. I had broken blood vessels all over my biceps, all in my lats. I was sore for an entire week. I was like, holy cow, what is this madness? I want to know more. I want to do this more. Because after that, I was able to do 9 pull-ups consistently, no problem. And so that's how I kind of got into it, because I realized that I was able to better myself, improve myself, mostly my strength and my physical dominance via exercise. And that kind of helped carry me through that time in middle school of avoiding getting picked on, because people kind of like saw like, oh, this guy's a little stronger, he's a little bigger than some other kids, like he's not worth the trouble type deal. And that was probably my initial motivation. And then eventually it kind of got into girls, like, oh yeah. Because I always felt kind of like what I said with the girl in the class, like I don't want to embarrass myself, because I always think that girls are looking for a real dominant man, like strong, able to protect the family, able to protect himself type deal. And so that's kind of the mentality I had. And I remember doing like pull-ups in PE class on just like knock out 10 at a time and take a break, 10 more at a time and take a break. And by the end of it, I probably did like 100. But every time like I would do a set, I saw like a girl that I thought I was in love with at the time. But I was just stupid. I was just like, yeah, you see that? Boom, biceps, girl, biceps. Because I thought actually pull-ups were a bicep exercise at the time. And I always like kind of fantasized, like, oh my gosh, if you got in trouble, you fall off a ledge, and I grabbed you, I could pick you up, and you'd be like, oh my gosh, he's so strong and dominant. I want to make him my boyfriend. I'm just like, yeah. That's teenage boy thinking for you, right? And then around 8th grade, I got introduced to weights, and before this, I had no idea about weights, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like amazing. I was obsessed. I loved it. And this is also the time where I thought like 135 bench press was amazing. And I'm like, dude, you're fucking swole if you can do that. Holy cow. Like I remember the teacher that ran the little club after school. He could do that for like a ton of reps. And I thought he was just so strong at the time. And turns out it's nothing compared to today. But at the time it was just like, oh my gosh, if I could bench 135, I would make it in life, right? And then I moved after that, and I didn't touch weights. I was primarily doing body weight stuff at home. I actually gained a little weight, not good weight. I was getting fat. I was probably like 150 pounds my first year of high school. And because I had a little bit bigger upper body, we're not going to talk about the lower body. And most kids my age, a lot of guys at the school took notice, and like my peers mostly like, dude, you should play football. You're a little big. You'd be good or something like that. I was like, shh, football's just a sad excuse for men to touch each other. You think I'm about that? But then I found out they have access to a weight room pretty much year round, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll be happy to touch you. So I remember going to that football meeting, and it was terrifying because there's all these big dudes and stuff like that. And I walk up to the coach, and it's like this 300-pound burly man, and he's got this deep voice. He's missing his front teeth, or a few teeth, I don't even know.
Like, what position do you want to play?
And I'm like,
I don't know.
he's like,
What do you mean you don't know?
because I didn't know shit about football. Never grew up with it, never got into it, that kind of thing. And he's like,
Learn fast.
and I'm like,
Sure.
he's like, okay. Puts me down as wide receiver and cornerback, and I'm just like, just so you know, I can't catch at all. But that's neither here nor there. But then I remember getting access to the weight room. They did on Bigger, Faster, Stronger program. The first day was actually scary as hell. Total gym intimidation moment, like complete opposite of what Planet Fitness strives for. Just all these like super high testosterone teenage boys fucking lifting weights, dropping them, yelling, screaming. It was loud music. I was like, oh my gosh, this is scary. So I'm mostly just standing there the first time I went and just going like, this is great, guys. This is great. And like, I was embarrassed. Like, I didn't want to appear weak or anything like that. But then the next day, one of my peers in the same grade as me was like, awesome working out yesterday, Alex, huh? You worked real hard, like being super sarcastic and a dick about it. And I'm just like, okay, I see you. I see you. And so it was actually kind of funny because he was one of the weaker kids in our class on the football team. And it was just kind of like, I guess he was trying to make himself feel better. I got way into it after that. It wasn't necessarily because of what he said. It was just because, I mean, I always loved doing it. It's just I was super stifled by that environment at first. And like I'm sure that's why they have places like Planet Fitness, because people are intimidated by that kind of behavior. But then I grew to love it because I embraced it. I became a part of it. It was really supportive. If I would ever make a gym or start my own gym, I want that same type of environment that I had when I was lifting in high school, with everybody pushing each other to become better, to lift that weight, even though our forms are terrible. I mean, atrocious. Like, I'm amazed some of us are not as fucked up as we should be. Like, we should have injuries up the wazoo. But we made it out alive, and by the end of high school, I was probably like 160 pounds. And I didn't train legs in high school because primarily they didn't want me, or the way they wanted me to squat was not conducive to my body type. I would be like, my torso would be folded over my legs like a sandwich, and that just wouldn't have worked because it would have been a good morning and a squat together. But after high school, I decided to start squatting. Gained a lot of weight, actually. Gained about 15 pounds that year of just squatting once a week, or doing legs once a week. And I was just like, dang, this is awesome. Like, why didn't I do this before? I could have been like really fucking strong or like really big in high school, but obviously I can't go back and change that. But now that I know, and now that you know, don't skip leg day. It's very important. It's actually one of my favorite days, next to back day, because back days and deadlifts are the best. It went from the fear and preventing people from picking on me to improving myself to getting really big and strong for the girls to being better than my peers and stronger than my peers. And now, today, I don't even think there's a motivation for it anymore, to be honest with you. And that sounds really weird because some of you are just like, well, that's like, well, there must be a reason. I mean, there are a lot of benefits that go along. Like, yes, I look really good. I'm not just like boasting about that. I mean, you know, I look good. Don't get me wrong. I'm strong. I'm not as strong as I'd like to be, but I think a lot of people are like that. Everybody wants to be stronger, or most people want to be stronger. There's nothing wrong with being strong. But I think it's literally just the way of life at this point. And like, I'll probably do this to the day I die. There's no stopping or anything like that. Obviously, there's got to be things like when you get injuries and stuff, you got to work around that. But it's it's a habit now, and it's ingrained in my being. It's a part of who I am. And if I go like max 4 days without lifting, I feel in a funk. Like I feel fucked up. It's gotta be a part of my life. I have to do some kind of physical activity, no matter what. But yeah, with that, guys, that's basically how I ended up getting into fitness in a nutshell. But there's one thing I want to say on this, and concerning basically kind of your motivation in terms of getting into fitness, whatever it might be. Maybe kind of like mine, where you just wanted to be a little more physically appealing or dominating, so that people wouldn't mess with you or pick on you or whatever like that. Or maybe for the girls, it might be for being stronger than your friends or whatever. It doesn't matter. But the point is, there's something very special here about fitness and exercising. And that is, you have everything you need right here to become a better, stronger person. Because as our physical body changes, so does our mental body, if that's a thing. Because it's more than just lifting weights. It's more than just getting stronger. It's building habits and ideas and philosophies that will serve you in every walk of life, whether that be business, whether that be in sports, even though sports are really close together, but in relationships, everything you do in exercising and working out and weightlifting can be applied to other aspects of your life. It's not bodybuilding, it's not powerlifting, it's character building. I want you to know that even if you are not currently at that level where you have it solidified as part of your being, as a habit, you can't live without it at this point. And it's not an addiction, but it's just a habit. But you want to get there. Because I know we're all capable of it. We all have it within us. This channel may be primarily fitness based, okay? But as I was saying, it can be applied to many aspects or all aspects of your life. That's what this channel is about. And one of the things I'm best at currently, one of my passions obviously, is fitness, is getting stronger, is getting better. But with this comes a building of character, becoming a better person overall, not just physically. Okay? And as this channel grows, as I grow, you're going to see a lot more coming into this channel, from business, from philosophy, from spirituality, all kinds of stuff. But because I have not yet had the success or the experience necessary to give it to you guys, to give it the correct value that you deserve, I'm not going to start talking about it just yet. But it is coming. With that, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys found this interesting. Hopefully you guys can relate a little bit. And if you haven't already, and I just don't know why I'm even telling you this at this point, but if you haven't already subscribed, you can do that right here, okay? And if you want to see my latest YouTube video, you're going to click up here. And certainly not least, if you have not gotten your hands on some badass barbender apparel like I'm wearing right here, shaken, not stirred, you're going to click right here.